Hi there, this is Ali Shah. So I hope you're doing well. So today's session is about investments, something we have been talking about for a while on this channel. And I just thought that today we'll pick a topic which is basically investing in GCC countries. GCC countries are the countries we are basically focusing on the Middle East region. And we have got UAE, we have got Qatar, we have got Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, and we've got Oman. So we're going to discuss what are the opportunities over there, what are the challenges in those countries. So I would like to just give a quick intro about who I am. So Ali Shah. So I want to set from the very first, I would like to give a disclaimer that we are just here sharing our knowledge with you. So as you know, we are not real estate experts. We have not been here for ages. We trained and got educated in different area. So by definition, by education, we were both, Mohsen and I have been engineers. And then we've been through different series of episodes in our careers where we were in corporate sector in different countries, spent some time in Pakistan, then in Middle East, in the UAE, and then the UK. After that, we have similar paths that we both went on to become entrepreneurs, and we set up our businesses. And the way we set up our businesses is quite global in nature. And just want to give this disclaimer that one of my businesses is real estate construction, and that's focused on the construction in Pakistan. That's based on my experience that I did some investments, got some good return, and I thought of doubling down on it. And that's why I created that company, which does projects now in Pakistan. So far we have done a commercial construction project near Islamabad in Faisal Hills. We have also done houses. We have constructed houses in Islamabad, and then we have done a beautiful resort called Brook in Skardu. So this is my experience. And then in the UK, I've done some investments in real estate. I've never done investments in the Middle East myself. I like to observe the market over there, and I would like to explore the market. Even a couple of years back, I was in Dubai. I was seriously exploring if this is the right time to get in. So these are the kind of questions that I would like to discuss today with Mohsen. And Mohsen brings in a lot of knowledge and expertise, a lot of telecom background, telecom knowledge. And then along the way, telecom entrepreneurship bug also bit him, and he went off the beaten track and established his own path. And he also kind of got a firm grip, understanding. He's been acquiring knowledge of real estate, especially focusing on Middle East. And he's quite excited about the opportunities over there. A month ago, when I was in the UK, we had a chance meeting and we had a small brief discussion, which I also uploaded on the channel as well, discussing the opportunities. But we said we're going to do a podcast. We're going to talk more about this. And we're going to do this webinar where we'll share in depth what are the challenges. I told him I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm going to ask you key questions. We advertise this on LinkedIn and we've got very good response. I hope many people should be able to join today's session. Almost 300 people kind of said we're going to attend this event. So looking forward to that. It's going to be quite exciting. And Mohsen, how are you doing? How's it going?
I'm great. And first of all, I would like to appreciate what a wonderful introduction you have done over here. I mean, briefly, you have touched all these, very important points. I think a lot of things being clear now. And I'm doing great. And thank you so much for inviting me to this platform and taking this initiative. Because, as you mentioned, we are students. We're just trying to learn. And whatever we learn, we share. Somehow my background is connected with sharing of knowledge. I would say 24 years ago, when Zambil was started, the first telecom engineering platform who was supposed to share knowledge with the larger telecom community. So I'm a big fan of knowledge, and I understand that knowledge is not complete unless it's been shared and it's been polished. Or as you mentioned that you're gonna be a devil's advocate. Wow, it's not a devil's advocate. I think you're gonna add a lot of value to my thinking process. And this is what I'm so excited about. So yeah, I'm very happy.
Awesome. Where are you currently, Mohsen? Where are you right now?
Right. Okay. You see Sultan Qaboos Mosque in my background, but I am physically not there. I am based in UK. My family lives over here. My mother and my brother and sister, they are still in Pakistan. So I frequently travel back to Pakistan. I've got some businesses running in Pakistan. Plus, my recent interest in the GCC for last, I would say, 6 years, 2018, it's all kicked off. So yeah, here I am. But if you ask me right now, mentally, I think I'm somewhere exploring Dubai, Sharjah, Oman, Saudi Arabia. So this is what the condition is at the moment.
Awesome. So before jumping to my first question, I just want to do a quick housekeeping that the session is going to be 1 hour. So we've just started on time and we'll be inshallah finishing on time, which is 3 p.m. UK time and around 7 p.m. Pakistan time. The idea is to let you guys spend more time with the families and not eat a lot of your family time. Sorry that we have kind of intruded in the middle of the day, but I hope you're able to make it and enjoy this session with us.
Yeah.
Another points. So don't get all hyped up about seeing me or Mohsen on screen and start planning your first. If you're new to investments, my disclaimer is that you need to do your own research. Our circumstances are different. We are in a different stage of life. We had
Absolutely.
a lot of experiences. Based on that, we will give you some advice which might not resonate with you at this stage of life because you're just starting at the very base level. So take it all with a pinch of salt. People say to me that I'm always very bullish on these things. I'm very, very positive about these things. And sometimes I might just come across very, very positive. But today my role is not to be positive. So let us know in your comments questions that you want to ask us. We want to keep it very engaging session, interactive session. If you will not ask, then I'll be asking questions. But the idea is to give you the opportunities to ask questions. So that's basically the rule of the game. And if you think that, yes, we have added some value, clarifying some in the questions that you had, so let us know in the feedback, in the comment section. Do us a like, also share on LinkedIn how the session went so that we can plan something in the future as well. The idea is to share knowledge. The idea is not to sell somebody's specific project or somebody's specific children. The idea is to give you open-minded, honest advice about how you should do the investments, and we'll just share some ideas here. Thank you very much for joining again. So Mohsen, let's get started. So your journey has been, you're quite excited about Middle East and you're quite excited about the opportunities over there. So we are going to talk specifically about the real estate aspect because there are other ways you can invest as well in stocks or in different ways, crypto and all. But right now we're focusing on real estate, and that is also of the GCC countries. So what is the opportunity that you see over there? If you can briefly let me know about, share that with me, please.
Right. Okay. I think the opportunity comes when there is a need which comes. So GCC countries are in a need of diversification. And previously, oil was their biggest source of revenue. But in the future, they are seeing that that revenue will not going to be significant in coming years. I think we're all seeing the push of sustainable energies, solar panels, EVs, stuff like that. So obviously, if we will move to that segment of the energy, then the people who are relying on that segment, they need to come up with some new ways of earning their bread. And I think this is the genuine need of the GCC countries for the diversification. And for diversification means that, okay, there won't be any one sector which they will be focusing on. As you said, obviously, they are focusing on bringing AI people to their country. They are bringing people from the real estate sector all across the world to come and build their real estate. Number 3, they are diversifying their the tourism sector. So they are making it very attractive for the people to come and enjoy that place. So they are diversifying in all the segments. And one of the significant segment is obviously the real estate, because that, especially if I talk about Saudi Arabia, although Saudi Arabia is one of the largest, country in GCC and one of the most richest country in the world as well. But in terms of the infrastructure is not very well done in last, X number of years. So they are building their infrastructure not for their own people, but because they're expecting that people would come. So the opportunity is from the need, and that is the real opportunity. Because if it comes from the want, that I want you to come to my country, I want you to do this, I want you to do that, and what is the future of that want? Tomorrow I will not like you, and I will say, oh, bye, because I don't want you to be here. So I think the world runs around or goes around need. So why I'm sitting over here in UK, and why you came to UK, because of the telecom. Telecom was growing significantly, and they wanted to have professional people working in the telecom sector, and they hired us from all these different countries, and they brought us over here. And I'm talking about back in 1999, I came to UK. So I was here because of their need. And the similar thing happening in GCC. So this is what the opportunity is.
Excellent. And what makes you qualified to say all of this? Have you recently visited Middle East? What have you seen over?
Yeah, what a wonderful question. Okay, my first tenure in I think in Middle East was 2012, when I opened my digital marketing agency back in Dubai, and then I grew it in Qatar, in Bahrain, and in Oman. So all these 4 places I've been working for last 12 years. And obviously, when you work somewhere, you assume that, oh, you know about these people, you know about their culture, you know about the religion, you know how they run. But what happened in 2017, my father died. And after his death, because I was the eldest son, I got to know a lot about his will, because in his will, there was a lot of properties, real estate investments. And I was like very amazed. And I said, look what my father has done. Okay, he earned a lot of money, but at the same time, he invested the money very rightly. But after having few conversations with my mother, I realized that my father was not into real estate, but my mother was too much into real estate. So that's why I started, working on real estate, because I thought that is a legacy of my especially my mother, so my family. So I should take it forward. And because I'm an entrepreneur, my solution to every problem is to open up a company. So I started a company in 2000 end of 17, the real estate. So when I started off something, that is in my nature, that I started from the scratch. I take everything out and I says, okay, I do not know anything. Let's start it from zero. So I started studying these places. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I read books about MBS and stuff like that. And that's opened up my mind in a lot of areas. Because one way is to work with somebody. And one way is that, okay, if I work with you, then I should understand that who you really are. And if you are Ali, then what is your background, and what is your family, and what is your relationship with the religion, what is the relationship with your culture and stuff. The more I know you, the better I work with you. So I think that was the thing which made me realize that I did not know a lot about those places, and I need to reset my learnings through the lens of different people who had got different point of views about that, the whole region. And that made me became so passionate about that place, because look, if I read about the history of this place, it wasn't a very exciting history. And it's not very old either. Somehow they got the oil, somehow they became so rich, and now this is the 3rd chapter in their life where the oil is going to go. And how come they are becoming so exciting after the COVID? Because the world before COVID and the world after COVID is very different. But somehow these countries are, thinking that this is a great opportunity for us to shift to the new domain where we could do the diversification of oil. So I think that stuck with me, and it says, oh, I should, understand these guys. And as I'm a big fan of Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, the Silicon Valleys and all these inspirational people and all that, I think the similar things I got with them. So I think determination, commitment, their love for their own people, their leadership, the vision. That's how I got attracted to that region. That is my real, I think, reason why I'm very attracted to these guys. And now, because obviously real estate is part of the legacy thing, so I'm only focusing on that real estate part.
Excellent. Brilliant. So you talked about the vision, and this resonates with me because I was in the UAE from 2001 to 2003, and I lived in Dubai. And Dubai at that time, as you know, was very different. And we thought that Dubai was like the most modern as good as it could get. And Burj Al Arab used to be far away, and the 𝐃𝐨𝐧'𝐭 was finishing at almost at the starting point of where it's starting now. And Bird Dubai used to be the hottest place, whereas Deira was the previous old legacy area. But now the whole center has shifted to Business Bay, downtown. All these new areas have sprung up. And I recently saw a documentary of Sheikh Mohammed, where early, I think 80s or 78 or 75, he was laying down the vision and the foundation of something amazing. And that is something which is mind-blowing, how something spur from just one man's vision, and how he proved everybody wrong. At one point, I thought 2006-07 that it's definitely this bubble is going to burst. These palm islands which are being created, these are not sustainable. And in fact, that did happen, that in 2008 bubble, we saw a lot of things going bust. And I have not the first-hand experience, but second-hand experience of very close friends of mine living in Dubai. They invested in properties which didn't get any tenants. And because of huge supply over there, whereas the demand very, very less, eventually it all fell through the cracks. And then a lot of people lost money in that particular span of time. How do you see it now? How does it sound to you that how is it different at this point of time? Because to me, it sounds like things are again really pushing up and kind of heading towards a bubble.
Yeah, it's a $1 trillion question, by the way, because the first thing I encounter whenever I talk about this place is that, oh, that crash, oh, 2008. So it's like a ghost, which is always with us whenever we talk about the real estate. Yeah. And I think it's not the ghost, it's asset. Because countries, what are the countries? They are not the bricks, and they're not the walls or the windows or the roads or the cars or the flashy things. They're people, right? So people makes the country. And remember, Dubai is a very, very young place. And Sheikh Mohammed took his first initiative by opening up the real estate for the foreigners ever in the GCC country back in 2000. First step. So Ali, if I ask you that when you went into entrepreneurship, what was your first failure? Would you call it still a failure? I think if I look at my failures, thousands. There's a big list of failures, of failing people, failing your own self, failing in front of your family, failing in front of your dear friends, failing the clients, and still doing it. So, people, they start off, they make a lot of mistakes, they learn from those mistakes, and they move forward. The strength of Dubai comes from going down and then up, and then go down and then up. Because if Dubai would have got bitten by such a huge, trust deficit in 2008, why the world is still believing in Dubai. And right now, I would like to add one more thing. I should stop calling it Dubai. I should start calling it UAE now. Because during my last trip, I went to see Dubai. I saw UAE. I saw Abu Dhabi. I saw Sharjah. I saw 𝐼𝐶𝐿, I saw 𝐸𝐻𝐿. So this is the first time in the history of Dubai that Dubai is not alone anymore. So I take it as a very, very human approach that when you start off, you fall, then you again stand up, and then you fall, and you again stand up. And you are asking me that why it is different? It is different because Dubai is the only country who had got such a great failures 2 times, right? And the whole world knows about it. The whole world knows about it because whatever they do, either good or bad, the whole world knows about it, right? Remember the rains a few months ago? Oh God, everybody was sharing their videos and look at the roads and stuff. The whole world knew about those wrong. At the same time, everybody knows that what Dubai vision is for 2040. So why it is different? I think because they have learned from the failures. Plus, I think they have got an acute eye on whatever the situation is in the world. And when they are looking at the world and they are saying that why somebody would like to keep living in any country which is not giving them what they really deserve. I'm using the word deserve. Okay, US used to do it. US has done it brilliantly in last 30, 40 years. World's finest brains from IITs of India, NADs of Pakistan, UETs of Lahore, or wherever, they're all sitting in US and they are having a wonderful life because this is what they deserve. And this is what US is giving them. The same formula which Dubai is following, that look at the world, look at what type of people there are. Either they are rich people or they are very skillful people, very smart people. So where should they stay? So if they would like to enjoy whatever they deserve, I'm another option. And somehow, I think COVID has become the biggest success for Dubai. So I think COVID is playing a significant role. The world economy is playing a significant role. Plus, the experience of Dubai in last 2 decades is playing a significant role in terms of whatever they're going to do in coming 15 to 16 years.
Great. So you talked about the crisis, like the rains had hit them, but there are also other things that keep on happening, which keep on changing our perception. For example, I think if we keep focusing on Dubai and UAE for the time being,
Sure.
I kind of see this, that the way the money is coming in now, the way I see why it's different from last times is that you've got solid money coming in, like Russians, as a result of Russia-Ukraine war. People are coming in from those countries with cash in their hands, and they're buying properties and they're planning to live over there. Whereas the other thing that's happening, to make it more livable, they're giving visas to different categories. We see that there are entrepreneur categories, there are content creators are being given visas. If you are, a friend of mine is head of computer engineering in one of the universities in Dubai, and since he's been working on artificial intelligence, one of the ministries, I think Foreign Affairs, they visited the university for some reason, and they asked them, who are the professors or the faculty members? Have you got the 5 years or 10 years golden visa? They said, none of us have got it. And they said, okay, send your papers in. And they got it like 3-4 days, they got the visa. And that is how amazing they have become. They see content creators in a conference. A content creator told me that he is not a big one, he's like only 100,000 followers. And he met somebody from the ministry in an event in Dubai. And again, something similar happened, that they started chatting and they got to know that, oh, you guys are content creators. So that means you can add value to our economy as well when you're working over here. So they got a content visa, I mean, the visa, golden visa, very easily as well. So I think these are the enabling factors. But on the other hand, we see things happening like you've recently seen this movie. You might have seen, I'm not sure you watch movies or not, but I do watch movies. There's a movie that has come that has changed the perception of Middle East. It has come out of India, Life of Goats, or The Goat Life, I think. And they have portrayed Saudi Arabia as some place which is very cruel. So there's a person who comes in, spends time. As soon as he lands at the airport, he gets abducted, and he's taken to the desert. He spends life miserably over there, and he manages to escape barely. He was about to get killed along the way as well. But that's a tragic story. But that is kind of a spin. I mean, when people see, everything is media war these days. So when you see these things happening, what is your perspective? Does this resonate with you as well, that these are the kind of persecutions that you see in Middle East as of now?
Okay, I'm not going to talk about the past, right? I'm going to talk about the future over here. And I think because of the oil money, they were in control. They had got the power. So the kings of the world, whoever they are, so they want to do whatever they want to do, right? But now the tables are turning. Oil is going away. Imagine Dubai 30 years ago. Imagine, even Abu Dhabi 30 years ago, or Sharjah 30 years ago. So they were very different people. But now, looking at Dubai and looking at the leadership of Sheikh Mohammed, whenever I go to these places, I always try to, although I take a rent-a-car and use that, but I try to sit with the taxi drivers wherever I go, even in Qatar or wherever, because they are the first ambassadors whom you interact with, and they know who is coming, who is going, and they have got a lot of information. I've never seen any taxi drivers who are in love with the king of that place, Sheikh Mohammed. I have numerous stories, not a single one, numerous stories. So this is the way that Sheikh Mohammed changed, because everybody is changing. You also changed. I'm changing continuously. So he's changed it, and he's changed the whole country or the city, and now changing the whole country. So I think because things are different in the future, so things will be different in Qatar, things will be different in Bahrain, things will be different in Saudi Arabia, things will be different everywhere. Because now everybody knows that we want good people, skillful people, rich people to be here. They are like 21st century mini US, somehow US, not in all the categories. I'm not saying that. Little bit same formula in making. So this is my statement about that.
Okay. And who is this opportunity ideally for? So there are people who are sitting, like you're sitting in the UK. I have the passport as well. You have the passport, British passport as well. Whereas people in Pakistan, they are in dire straits. They're in terrible condition right now. They want to escape because they really don't want to stay in Pakistan. Many senior professionals, senior executives in different companies, I've got to know. And they want to escape, but they don't have any escape plan because Dubai has stopped their visas. So almost 98% of the visas are currently being rejected. To give you an example, when I had recently come to the UK, my original plan was to travel to Dubai, and I got to know that I didn't have 6 months left on my British passport, so that it was expiring. So I was thinking, okay, maybe I'll use Pakistani passport this time and apply for visa. But I was born in Sahiwal, so the city between Lahore and Multan, right? I got to know that Sahiwal is in those list of those, I think 30 cities or 40 cities, which are banned. People who are born over there, they're banned for various reasons, because they say Pakistanis, there are many people who come to Middle East or Saudi Arabia or UAE and become beggars. So to stop that, they just put a stop on everybody. And that made it very difficult. So who is this opportunity ideally for? If somebody gets hyped up living in Pakistan, watching this transmission, and they say, oh, really, I want to go and explore, and I would like to see what Mohsen is offering me and showing me some good projects in the UAE or in anywhere else, how easy is it to get the visa? I've just shown you the picture about Dubai.
Right. Okay. This is a very difficult question, which you are mentioning right now.
I'm
UAE
playing
is,
devil's advocate. Sorry.
no, that's amazing. Amazing. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So UAE at the moment is not happy, and they are giving this message to the government of Pakistan that we are not happy. Okay. I believe personally, this is a temporary thing. It will go, they will adjust it, they'll make it like this and like stuff like that, but we're not gonna continue, because even the big industrialist, good money, Faisalabad or Sialkot and stuff like that, they are not getting the visas, which is very, very problematic, not even for Pakistan, I think for UAE as well, because they want to travel to UAE to invest money, to spend money, have fun, enjoy their vacations and stuff like that. So it's a big source of revenue which is coming from Pakistan. So in terms of economics, I think this is a temporary phase. It will going to change. But the one thing which I know, that they are processing the golden visas. They are processing the investor visas. This is what I know. But I also know that there was some rejection for the company setup as well for Pakistanis. So people who want to open up a company, so their companies are not being opened because they are from Pakistan. So I think this is a temporary thing, not a permanent thing. And if I talk about Oman, I do not know for how long, but there are no visit visas for Pakistanis. I do not know for how long, but there are no visit visas. So that is a question which is not an easy one to answer, and I don't have the answer for that as well. But
I think I will just add over here that I was hearing somebody who was from the UAE embassy. He was on TV in, I think it was consulate, and that person, he was Arabic, he was an Emirati, but he was also very fluent in Urdu. So that was quite exciting.
Yeah.
And he was sharing the insights that what we are doing is not right. We are totally closing down on Pakistan in terms of visas. It's mainly, as they say, right sizing. So we are selecting the right people. We don't want people who are on social, they're observing your social media behaviors.
Yes.
So when you, that's quite interesting. They're checking you out, that how are you, what are you posting on social media? Is that something positive? Are you creating a positive impression, or you're just disseminating information which is negative and negative propaganda about your country? Or if you come to their country, you will continue doing the same. So that is something that they're doing. They are rejecting visa based on social media checking as well.
Wow.
So that's in mind as well.
Wow. This is a great insight. And obviously it brings the onus to individual people, rather than you're saying that, oh, because of the Pakistani passport I'm getting rejected. I mean, whatever you're doing in social media, it remains there, and they're checking it. So I'm not surprised that that this thing is happening. I think thank you so much for raising that.
Most welcome. So now we have got questions from the audience as well, so that's a good start. We've got Farhan, and I like his name. His name is Geared to Grow. That's good, Farhan. Thank you for the question. Is there anything for professionals in GCC who don't have any savings? So what do you say about that?
Good question. Okay. GCC, because it has got a lot of variety. You are talking about UAE, you're talking about Oman, you're talking about Qatar, you've got all these different countries. So I will specifically talk about 3 places. One is Oman, second is UAE, and the third is obviously Saudi Arabia.
There was some disruption. Please continue.
Yes. Right. So 5.2 million of population. Out of that, 55% are local Omanis and 45%.
Please continue.
Right. And okay, so 45% are non-Omanis. They got a very young population, and obviously they would like to, give opportunities to this population. What they have done, that they have removed this requirement from the businesses to have a local partner. So there is no requirement of kafil in Oman anymore. you can have 100% ownership company, but at the same time, you need to hire a certain percentage of locals because this is what they are trying to push. So, have got a local workforce. So if you are in the earlier stage of your career or mid-level of your career, don't expect that you're going to get the jobs over there. But if you are desirable, AI specialist, machine learning specialist, high-tech 6G, 5G specialist, things like that. If you're expert and you're very rare, you're going to have wonderful jobs all across GCC. But that lower level jobs, middle level jobs, especially in Oman, not available. And I see the same thing trending happening in Saudi Arabia as well, because Saudi Arabia also has a very big population. And remember that women did not used to work, but they studied and they obviously utilized their energies in different things. So now they're becoming part of the workforce. And now you go to Saudi Arabia and you see that the women are all over the place at the airport and stuff like that. So suddenly there's a big workforce which came out of MBS reforms, which is trying to get the jobs. So Saudi Arabia, I don't think so. Specialized jobs, yes. Oman, specialized job, yes. Oman, and Oman lower jobs, not. But in Dubai, because Dubai is becoming so big, so exponential, that they would need to have you there because there was so much work coming in. And so if you are targeting middle level, I think you should target Dubai, even in Sharjah and stuff, because they don't have a big population to cater. Same thing in Qatar. So this is what I think the situation is.
Good. The second question from Farhan is, why even apply when most visa applications from Pakistan are being rejected? I think it's not necessarily true for the whole GCC countries space. It's we talked about UAE, we talked about briefly about Dubai, but I have heard other Emirates, people are saying apply through Sharjah, apply through Abu Dhabi, you might have more chances. But what's your take, Mohsin? How about the other countries? I think you mentioned about Oman. How about Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, other countries? Are they giving visas to Pakistanis for visit?
Well, I'm not aware about that. I think Saudi Arabia is right now quite flexible in terms of giving the visas because they have got such a big economy and they would like to bring as many people as possible. But Omani situation has always been different. They are giving investors visas to Pakistanis. They're giving these business setup visas to Pakistanis, but visit visas is all, I don't remember, but is being banned for quite some time. Qatar is on and off. I think they opened up when there was a blockade happened for Pakistanis on arrival, and then the certain things happened, and then they said that, oh, you need to have got certain criteria. So these things are keep on changing. So I think they need to contact the consulate or their travel agent in order to keep themselves updated that what actually this thing is happening. So
okay. There are three things that I see when I think about investing in GCC. There are three types of profiles, people who want to go to GCC countries. One are those who have got a lot of money in their pockets. Like we talked about the Russians coming in with a bag of money and buying properties in UAE, Dubai. So that is the elite or the rich ones. Then you've got the second ones, the working class, who are working in various countries, maybe in Pakistan or maybe in anywhere in the other countries in the GCC, but they do not have any residence status. They don't have the passports, nationality, and they want to do that, right? So there are people who are in Pakistan. Their first step is to get some residence visa outside Pakistan, right? So those kind of people. The third one are those who are already living abroad somewhere, who have got some passport already, Canadian or British or Australian. Tell me briefly, what is the opportunity for each one of these classes, and where does this best opportunity lie? Is this in Oman? Is this in Bahrain? Maybe start with one particular country.
Right. I would talk about the third one first, and second and first. I think you need to repeat the first question. I think I forgot it because there were three. Okay, so the people are having Australian passports, the people who are having US passports and UK passport. I think one of the thing is the tax. The tax advantage is literally quite a lot, number one. The second thing is certain markets have reached to their peaks, and they should have invested in those markets. If you're in Australia or few years back, 2020, stuff like that, or maybe back. So the opportunity, right? So taxes, opportunity. The third thing is that saying, come live with us, not only invest, come and live with us. So the environment with respect to Australia, with respect to US, very different. It's a best of both worlds, right? Okay, you would like to live with your other fellows, Pakistani friends and Indian friends, and to have a flavor of little Pakistan or India, in GCC. At the same time, you would like to have the structures of the Western world. So I think it's a best of both worlds in that part of things. I think the fourth one is the proximity, distance. So you can call your parents rather than they would go to Australia, because when I remember that whenever I used to call my parents, they only stayed with me for 3 months. And I always tell them, oh, please, why you're not staying more and stuff. They don't want to stay in these Western countries because they would like to live with their own people. Khala, Mamu, Chacha, Shadiyan, they have got their own life, which they do not find in UK or US and stuff. So you can have your parents, very close to you. Plus all those religious things happening, Eid, Bakrid, Muharram, everything, which is, again, a blessing that if you are there. So there are few reasons for these passport holders to, invest there. Plus, I think one more thing, which is pretty understandable, that there are so few people who are like little bit aged, let's say 55 years or 54 years, and now they started thinking about their retirement. And they enjoyed their life in Pakistan, enjoyed their life in Australia, Canada, whatever, but they just said, that's it. I'm not gonna live my retirement life in Canada because it's so cold and it's so dry and I don't have people. So they are also thinking about moving to these places to enjoy life. So another aspect. Plus, one more I would like to add, LGBT push. I think this is another factor where it's difficult to raise your young kids in that kind of environment. So few people are saying that, oh, I think we should move our kids from these places to places where, we have got stability, good quality of life, residencies, investments, at the same time, Islamic culture, all of that. So for them, I think these are the few points which they would relate to. The second part is, as you mentioned, Pakistanis, they don't have a passport, but they're looking at investing in different countries in order to make sure that whatever they invest in, the value will not go down in terms of the currency devaluation. Plus, they would like to, they would not like to pay taxes. Again, taxes, I think, is a common thing. And plus, in the future, if they would like to go as a backup, that, oh, I'm happy with whatever happening in Pakistan, and I have got little money, I will invest in Dubai, whatever, but I will not move. I only move the money. In the future, if there is a requirement, then I should move as well. So as a backup option of these, because if you, for example, Oman is probably the cheapest in terms of the residency. In 300,000 dirhams, they are offering you lifetime residencies. That is the cheapest in the whole of GCC. Dubai starts from 750,000 dirhams. Saudi Arabia is 4 million Saudi Riyal, $1.1 million. So if people don't have that much money where they can invest in Saudi Arabia or in Dubai, they can invest in Oman. So these are for the second people. What was the first one? Sorry, I forgot.
The super rich people, the people like yourself who are
no way.
who want to live in a safe haven.
Right. I think, when you're seeing the trend, and there's a lot of media out there which is telling everybody that millionaires after the COVID are moving away from all these established economies. So they are moving away from, from UK, from US, Canada, Australia, and all these places. And they are going to those places which they think that those economies have done really well after COVID. So as I mentioned earlier on, everybody needs to understand it pre-COVID and post-COVID. At least in our lifetime, this is one of the biggest event happening. Never experienced such a big change in our entire life, right? So it's a pre-COVID world and a post-COVID world. And in the post-COVID world, millionaires who have got access to everything, right? So they have got resources to research Singapore, research London, research Dubai, research Riyadh. They have done that, right? Because they have got resources to get the research done. So they have done their research, and then they are flocking to these places, Riyadh or Dubai. Or why? And why they are not seeing that these countries probably will gonna crash? Because when you look at these countries, you should look at it from the third eye point of view, right? What is the third person saying? In our case, I think the third person is IMF, Arabian Monetary Fund, S&P, Fitch, Moody, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs. When you look at all of their data, they are pretty happy with the whole of GCC. And I just would like to quote one prediction. This market, the GCC market, real estate only, will gonna become $34.3 trillion by 2030. This is not what I am saying and you are saying, or Dubai Sheikh is saying, or MBS is saying. No, IMF wants people. Okay, this is what our assumption is. IMF wants countries to, not to do really well, because they aren't interested in those.
Right? Good stuff. So,
right. So
I've got another question from the audience. Dawar Malik. Dawar is asking how banks are assisting foreign investors in UAE.
Right. Okay. If you got 2 million dirhams and you invest in any of the bank with a higher interest rate, you can get a golden visa. So you probably heard about golden visa, and you say that you need to buy a property of 2 million dirhams to get the golden visa. This is how the banks are assisting in UAE. If you give them 2 million dirhams, they get you a golden visa. The second thing is, if you got a property, or if you are planning to buy a property and you have done a down payment, for example, of 10%, you can open a account over there, right? Even the third thing is, they are offering offshore accounts as well. So you don't have to present over there, but based on your profile, based on your, whatever company you have got in your home country, bank statements and stuff like that, credibility checks and everything, you can open offshore accounts as well, even for the companies. So this is how they are assisting it. And I'm not saying that they are as in terms of customer service, because when I was in UAE, I visited, I think, 11 or 12 banks personally, because I just wanted to get this experience. So, okay, few banks, I think 1 or 2, they were doing exceptional service, but the rest of them, they were not. They were like, oh, we are HSBCs and we are like that. And so the customer service, I think it's not very, very brilliant, but few banks I know, especially Emirates NBD, wonderful experience with those guys. And they are the ones who open, the
Good
accounts.
Good. Now, moving to you mentioned Oman a lot. So let me ask you a few questions about that. When we last met in London, you mentioned that you visited Oman and you took a few people with you as well from Pakistan who were interested. Tell me more about it. How do you take people over there, and why a person like me, if I am thinking about investing, and what is it that you offer me? So how do you know those people who are doing projects in Oman? What is their credibility? What is the surety that my money is safe? If you give me advice, invest with these guys, how am I sure about it that there are so many scams out there?
No, I think it's a million-dollar question. Even when 2008 crash happened, 𝐬𝐜𝐫𝐢, the company of Dubai Sheikh, gone busted, right? So it affects everybody. I think same goes to Oman. And there is 100%, there is no surety, but based on who is doing it, what is their previous portfolio, what people are talking about, visiting their existing projects, looking at the quality, talking to different people, the normal due diligence process. Whenever you give money to anybody, this is what you need to do, because this is like a standard process. So I think same goes to Oman. Why Oman is a little different as compared to the rest of the GCC, I would highlight that. First of all, my experience with Oman is for last 12, 13 years. So I'm not new to Oman. If I just combine my period, probably in total 2 years in patches, I've spent in Oman. 2 months, 3 months, 2 weeks, stuff like that in last 12 years. So that's how much I know about that place. And the one thing which I also know about it is that the people are very nice, very humble, very nice, very down to earth, and very, in some cases, very naive as well. So, and I visited few places in the world. I don't, met people like Omanis anywhere else in the world, at that level. The second thing is, now they need us. When they need us, they need to make sure that we are happy. If you're not happy, we will not go to Oman and invest our money in Oman. We'll go to Dubai and invest our money over there. So they know that they have a lot of competition, and they know that they need to be very friendly in order to do it. Okay. The third thing is, Oman is a very stable 44, more than 200 years, since last more than 200 years, same family is ruling. Same family. This is the ninth generation.
Isn't that a dictatorship?
Well, end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's a dictatorship or democracy. End of the day, it matters what value as a normal person you're getting out of that. So personally, if you ask me, I think these are all churans to control people, either democracies and stuff like that. This is all churans. I'm in love with Sheikh Mohammed, and if he's a dictator, I want to have these dictators all across the world too, because he's super good for his own people, and not for his own people, our taxi drivers. Right? So he's good for the taxi drivers who don't have any connection with that. Anyway, that is another topic we can discuss about it. But so Oman has been like stability point of view. Ninth generation, no political upside, downside, whatever. Same family, very stable and not super excited. Dubai is super excited. You go to Dubai and you always feel like you're not gonna catch up with those guys, because there's even the government itself, it's inspirational for the private companies. That is, I think, only country in the world, city in the world, who are far ahead from the private companies. So Oman is totally opposite. But if you want quick returns, very quick, Oman is not a market.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask you about returns. That we talked about budget destinations, like Oman is good for budget investment.
Yeah,
little money is needed to invest there. But what is the return like? Return on investment. Let's talk about that quickly. We're almost 5 minutes we have got. So a couple of questions I have got after this, as one from Dabar as well.
Sure. Can I share my screen? I think the numbers will talk themselves.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do that, because you and me come from the data background, technology, engineering. So I think this is a numbers question.
do the access basically to
Yeah.
share. So you should be able to share now.
Right. You're seeing it,
Yes.
right? Okay. So
You need
Muscat,
to. The Excel sheet I can see, but I'm unable to see it in the full one.
right? You can see now. I can share the link, obviously.
Yes.
Not a problem.
To double click on it, I think might be able to do that.
Here we go.
I'm seeing an infinity mirror kind of thing.
We're not seeing my screen.
So I think it'll be good to give a link. Just walk us through what you want to show.
Okay. Let me stop screen sharing, and I will share now an entire screen. Right. Can you see now?
Yes. Now it's all right.
Right. Okay. So this is a little bit of a summary. Okay. And you can see I've compared Sharjah with Dubai, Dubai with Muscat. This is off plan and this is ready to move. As you're seeing, that ready to move, obviously in Dubai at the moment, is doing wonderful. In Oman, ready to move is not doing wonderful because the thing is that Omani market was stagnant for last 7 or 8 years. And currently, the ready to move market is going down. I think last month only, 5% the market fell down. So this is the right time to invest in that market because off-plan market is growing and ready to move market is going down. Plus, you're seeing Muscat potential, right? 6.81. This is one of the largest project launched by Oman, and it's in the name of Sultan 𝐬𝐻𝐾 city. So these are the expectation of yearly ROI rental net from that project only. So Oman is a good market to invest in terms of even rental yield, but you have to wait a couple of years in order to do that.
Good stuff.
And,
so I think that.
And even I would add one more thing. Even Sharjah is a wonderful market to look at. We can have another session on Sharjah sometime, but even Sharjah as well, because the numbers are very attractive at the moment.
I went through Sharjah airport last time coming back from the UK, and I was really amazed by the quality. It just looked like any world-class airport with very good lounge facilities. So that was incredible.
$327 million upgrade is happening by 2027. They are upgrading the airport.
So Dawar asked similar question, where is it a good opportunity to invest either in Saudi Arabia or in UAE or in Oman? So I think you have given an example.
Good. I would add one thing about Saudi Arabia. We got a big telecom network in Saudi Arabia, a lot of contacts over there. I'm just waiting for those people who are living in Saudi Arabia for last 15 to 20 years, 20 years. And they will tell me, Mohsin bhai, I've just bought an off-plan studio. Please come and invest. Then I will come to you and say, oh, this is the right time to invest. Because those are my people who know that place really well because they've been living there for the last 10, 15 years and they would like to save their rent and they would like to do some investment over there. So once let the local investors, local expat investors become comfortable with the investment, and then the time will come for Saudi Arabia. I think Saudi Arabia has got little time in order to restructure the whole real estate, plus laws, plus digitalization. Even when I was researching Saudi Arabia, there were a lot of real estate websites, Arabic only. When I talk to these people on WhatsApp, they're still living in old Saudi Arabia. They're not living in new Saudi Arabia, because if they would be living in new Saudi Arabia, their response time would have been like Dubai only. Because once you give a message to anybody in Dubai, he is on your head. So I think Saudi Arabia, you have to wait till the local expat people start investing. Right now, the time is, I think, good for Sharjah, good for even for Dubai. Dubai board hasn't left. We can have another discussion on that, why it's hasn't left. Plus Oman. These are the three places which are very economical, Plus, they will have got a lot of potential in order to grow your money in coming years.
Good stuff. I think that's pretty good. My last question is about the situation unfolding in Middle East, the peace situation, the conflict between Israel and Iran, and unfortunately, Israel struck Lebanon last week. Couple of weeks they've been doing that, and more than 1,400, 1,500 people have died as a result of that, including more than 100 children. So that's really unfortunate. Friday, they also struck Hassan Nasrallah and martyred him as well. So that's terrible news. How is it, the way it's unfolding, do you think it's going to impact these relatively moderate or the ones which are progressive emirates like Oman or Saudi Arabia or Emirates? They all have they have taken some sides. So is there any impact? I'm talking about when we invest somewhere, we want to see what happens to the geographical situation. So there are technical analysis required, but then there are fundamentals. So how do you see the way the situation is unfolding?
Right. Okay. I'm going to talk about two countries here, Oman and UAE only. I'm not going to talk about the rest of the countries because I'm just talking about investing in these two countries. Okay. UAE, February 2024. Dubai is out of FATF. Okay. Dubai or UAE did it because they tied up with US, accepted Israel, and because there's a lot of investment of Israel in Dubai. Huge investment of Israel over there. So they are trying to neutralize with everybody, because during my last trip, I realized UAE is all about business now. Very, very much business. And their focus is so clear that there are casinos there. So Dubai is going to have 3 casinos. Ras Al Khaimah will have got 1 casino. And even there's a news. I'm not sure. There's a news out there. Abu Dhabi might have got another casinos there. So when we're talking about casinos and stuff like that, that shows that they're only talking about money and they're only talking about business. So they are they're becoming, probably they were not very neutral at that earlier time, but now I think their focus is to become extremely neutral. I think that's how they are managing their political angle with all these countries, right? This is one of the things. The second thing is Oman. Oman has always been very neutral. Oman is the most neutral country in the entire world. They don't know how to fight. And when you go and meet their people, you realize that they don't understand fighting. Because they don't fight. They are not aggressive people. They're very humble. Say, I'm really sorry you're talking to me. I hope, I'm talking good English. Oh, I'm really sorry that I'm not talking in good English to you. It is very inconvenient to you that, you're hearing my bad English. This kind of statements which I hear in Oman. So Oman has got a very, very neutral position. And Yemen is the border of Oman, right? Yemen is on a totally opposite track, and Oman is on a totally opposite track. And why did they manage to do it? Because of the the policies of late Sultan Qaboos. The true statement who removed, resolved, a lot of conflicts in the conflict region, which is full of conflict. So this neutral approach is the only approach where you can not have these things happening in your own country. Because if you go and take sides somewhere, obviously it will come back to you. I'll take the example of Turkey. Turkey started taking sides. Reason being, Turkey is becoming very, unstable, unsecure as well. I studied in Cyprus. My wife always used to tell me that, oh, why did we not go to Turkey? And you always talk about Cyprus. So I took her to Turkey in 2016. And you know what happened next day? Istanbul. A bomb blast happened in Istanbul, 2016. So when you are like into these sites and stuff and all of that, it will come to you in your home country. But these two places, I think they are becoming extremely neutral, business-oriented, and they are saying that this is what we want to do. Whether people like it, whether they don't like it, we are like that only. And I think Saudi Arabia is probably on the same track. This is what my analysis is.
Great. I think that makes a lot of sense. And I totally agree that the world is full of problems and challenges, and different parts of the world have different challenges. When I was exiting UK last month, at start of August, the UK riots started happening. So that was something totally shocking for me as well. And maybe they didn't like me leaving after the visit. So that's why they've started protesting or something. But thank you very much, Mohsin. That's been an engaging conversation. And thanks a lot for your time and for the really useful insights. So I hope that that has been beneficial for all of you, our audience. And please, I would like to just summarize that UAE or Oman or Saudi Arabia, all of these have pockets of opportunities. You just need to be mindful of the timing that you need to select for the market, the right market. As Mohsin briefly touched upon, Saudi having a timing thing that is going to come at a later stage, whereas Oman has got a very good opportunity right now. Whereas Dubai has not missed the boat yet, but Dubai, if you want more money to invest, then if you have a higher slice of ticket, less, I think, risk, then you can opt for Dubai, but it's a big money game. Then you have got, on the value side, you can have Sharjah and all.
Yes,
but
yes, absolutely.
The overall thing is that you have got supply. You need to watch out for where you see the supply versus the demand as well. You need to assess that you make investments in real estate. And you also need to see that what are the political things going on, what are the other things, economic factors. Are these countries only relying on oil and gas, or there is diversification going on as well? Dubai has been able to pull it off. It has attracted a lot of tourism, whereas others are like Saudi Arabia is betting on it, trying to come out of oil and gas and trying to show a really nice picture to the world outside that domain. But let's see what happens. They're attracting a lot of IT people now, pulling off a lot of IT.
Ali, I would like to add one thing.
Please, yeah.
My surprise was when I was doing research, on Sharjah. Sharjah economy only 20% relying on oil and gas now, 20%, because they learned this thing 20 years ago when the crash happened. They were significantly relying on Dubai because everything going amazing in Dubai, and they were getting a lot of benefit out of it. And now Sharjah has got 33% of all the manufacturing happening in the UAE. 33%. And 20% reliance on that. So diversification is already on the table. And now, only 2 years ago, they opened up the market for the freehold. Everybody can buy. 2 years ago. So real estate will going to contribute significantly in that part as well. So Sharjah was a surprise to me.
Excellent. So then other factors are that you need to consider is the regulatory environment. When you invest somewhere, you need to see how the transactions are going to go through as well. What are the different modes of transaction? And if you're investing your money, what are the ways you're going to get your money out when you get the return on investment, when you make the profit? There are countries in these areas, in these GCC countries, who are offering very easy way to make the transaction, like offering even making transactions via crypto as well, like Dubai is also.
Yes,
Bitcoin.
right.
That's pretty good. And then you also need to see that the cultural and economic barriers, as Mohsin rightly pointed out, that in the world, Western world, there's a lot of thing going on about cultural diversity and inclusion, whereas the opposite thing needs to be considered by the Muslims, or if you, for some reason, are not really into that and you want to have your children protected from such a very freedom, a lot of freedom, which is not up for you to take it, and something which is not your cup of tea, and you would like to move to lesser, countries with lesser exposure. So I think that is where GCC adds a lot of value. So I believe these are the factors that you need to keep in mind. Last but not the least, always make up your mind by visiting the place that you want to invest. And that is where Mohsin comes in. As I mentioned briefly, that recently, a couple of months ago, he was in Oman and in UAE. He took a few friends who were interested in investment, and they saw it with all of it with their own eyes. So that is what you need to do. If you're interested, I strongly recommend spend a little bit of money over there. Spending $200,000 or that much amount for the travel and the accommodation won't hurt you. if you are going to make decisions of hundreds of thousands of pounds or hundreds of thousands of dollars or almost 1 crore or 2 crore rupees or Pakistani rupees. So must visit and then decide where you want to invest after visiting it and seeing it with your own eyes. So that's where I think we'll leave information, contact information of Mohsin. He would be able to share more information with you. And feel free to get in touch with us if you need more details. And thank you so much for joining us today. I got 10 minutes late in winding it up, but I hope you enjoyed today's discussion. And if you did, please don't forget to subscribe the channel. We'll be bringing the similar level of content and the detail going forward with you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for joining, Mohsin.
Thank you so much. I had a pleasure. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for those difficult questions.
Awesome. Thanks for bearing with them.
No. That was amazing. Thank you so much.
Bye now.
Okay. Bye-bye.